A simple stone can guide lost souls. A wooden gate can mark the border between the human world and the sacred world. And this, it carries centuries and centuries of ritual, belief, and hidden meaning. But why? Why do I feel so much honor? The simple reason is, what do people do before they can get a Fotaski? What does Fotaski mean? What about the little pocket? What do I have in there? Every time I put on my white Yamabushi Shiroshozoku clothes, it gives me great honor to also put on this, my Fotaski sash, which is basically a vermilion and white cord with a red pocket at the front and a mirror at the back. But why? Why do I feel so much honor? The simple reason is, not everyone can wear this, not even Yamabushi in some cases. Fotaski are a Shinto Yamabushi thing, and they can only be worn by those who have done the Shinto Aki no Mine, Autumn's Peak ritual, or the female equivalent called Miko Shugyo, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Those who have earned similar merits, such as leaders of Kochu pilgrimages, or people who have visited the mountains on multiple occasions, are also able to wear the Fotaski. In other words, my Fotaski is a symbol of my Yamabushi training to date. It's a symbol of how far I've come, but also what the mountains have helped me achieve since I first put on the Yamabushi garb way back in 2017. I still believe that the Dewa Sanzan mountains here in Yamagata are the best place to learn about spirituality in Japan, and the Fotaski is but one part of that. Fotaski were created for Shinto Yamabushi following the separation of Shinto and Buddhism during the Meiji period, from 1868 onwards. As far as I'm aware, Fotaski only exist on the Dewa Sanzan mountains, the training ground for predominantly Shinto Yamabushi, the only place of its kind in Japan that I'm aware of, let alone the world. To make things interesting, the Buddhist Yamabushi basically also train alongside us on the Dewa Sanzan mountains. That 2 schools of Yamabushi, let alone Shinto and Buddhist Yamabushi, train alongside each other is nothing short of a miracle, which I think proves that the Dewa Sanzan is such a great place to learn about spirituality in Japan. But that's a story for another time. Like pretty much all things Yamabushi, the Fotaski has its origins in Buddhism. It is like the Shinto equivalent of Yuigesa, which are the pom-poms that Buddhist Yamabushi wear. There are always 6 pom-poms, which represent the 6 perfections, or the 6 paramitas. Since I'm a Shinto Yamabushi, I don't know too much about this, so please bear with me. What does Fotaski mean? Futo means fat or wide, and daski is a voiced taski. Taski is the Japanese word for a sash. Famously, there are these terracotta statues called Haniwa. These statues are of Miko, shrine maidens, which are wearing the taski sashes, which date back to the Kofun period. This means that they predate Buddhism's arrival in Japan. This is entirely my own speculation, but I think that the taski sashes were chosen to assert Shinto dominance after Buddhism had held so much power for so long, especially on the Dewa Sanzan mountains. Either way, the white and vermilion strings represent yin and yang, which itself represents the vast cosmos, or the natural world. And you'll see that the cords are tied together. This is to symbolize that all things are born and sustained by the workings of the deities, of the universe, and nature. And the mirror? Mirrors play a huge role in Shinto. For example, the bronze mirror, which is called Yata no Kagami, which is one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan. In the case of the Fotaski, the mirror represents Do, the path or the way. The path refers to the idea that all beings nurtured and sustained by the deities fulfill their inherent roles and are guided to do so. Wearing the Fotaski symbolizes gratitude towards the myriad deities, Yao Yorozu no Kami. It also symbolizes being a follower of the divine path empowered by the deities. Lastly, it is an extreme honor symbolizing respect and reverence from the local community. What about the little pocket? What do I have in there? I've got a few prayer sheets, including this one, which has a very long prayer on it, and I've also got some chapstick, because when you blow the conch, your lips get extremely dry. And I also normally have a pair of sunglasses because my blue eyes require it. And if I'm not doing training, if I'm not doing my own training, if I'm training other people, I often put my phone in here as well. There are also many Yamabushi who create a fold in the string here where they can put a fan. So what do people do before they can get a Fotaski? And the answer is quite simple. You have a Shime necklace, which I have talked about in a few videos before, most recently in the Spirited Away video. Shime necklaces are kind of like a less permanent version of the Fotaski, and wearing a Shime necklace is considered the formal way of worshipping on the mountains. Shime necklaces are typically made of paper, but I also do have one which is made of hemp and one which is made of like normal rope as well. The paper, obviously, if you sweat, it can get pretty like, I don't know, they can break quite easily if you're not careful. Shime work in the same way as shimenawa ropes, so they provide a protective barrier to keep evil out. Shime represent purification from sin and kegare, impurities, and they are also a form of ritualistic cleansing of both body and mind. Shime show that you are approaching the kami with a pure heart. When you wear a shime as well, it looks like it's on backwards. You put the longer part behind you, and this is on purpose. As I touched on in the Spirited Away video, it's believed that evil comes from places that you cannot see, from behind you, for example. And this is also the same reason why we have the mirror on the back of our Fotaski, to, I guess you could say, to reflect evil back and to stop evil from penetrating your sacred border. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Fotaski and Shime. I certainly enjoyed sharing it with you. If you like deep dives into the culture of Japan, visit Yamabushi.com for the Kiwi Yamabushi newsletter. If you want more on this part of Japan, be sure to check out my video on Spirited Away, or for something a little bit different, check out this video in which I talk about gyoi, the white jackets that we wear. I'm Tim Bunting, the Kiwi Yamabushi, ka kite anō, and I'll see you next time.